Imagine for a moment that there's another version of you living out their life somewhere parallel to yours. They have the same potential, the same raw energy, the same desires and dreams, but they are just a step ahead, having already unlocked the wisdom that you're still searching for. This is your parallel version, and they're reaching out to you in this very moment. Join me as I guide you on how to listen to your parallel version. Our parallel versions. The idea of parallel selves isn't just the stuff of imagination. Both psychology and quantum physics offer intriguing perspectives that suggest the possibility of their existence. In psychology, concepts like Carl Jung's theory of the collective unconscious propose that each individual holds within them a shared reservoir of human experience. This implies that parts of our psyche resonate with experiences or identities we haven't directly lived, hinting at alternative versions of ourselves or lives that coexist within our minds. Similarly, the theory of multiple selves in psychology suggests that each of us has various aspects or selves that we adopt in different circumstances, versions of who we are based on our experiences, emotions, and contexts, each offering insights from perspectives different than our current self. Quantum physics goes even further. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics proposes that all possible outcomes of a quantum event actually occur, creating countless branches or parallel universes where every possible version of a decision unfolds. This suggests that there might be other versions of ourselves living out alternative realities based on the choices we didn't make here. When combined, these psychological and quantum perspectives hint that our parallel versions might indeed exist, not just as concepts, but as real, albeit hidden counterparts that influence and even guide our present lives. In spiritual philosophy, there's a common idea that each of us has a higher self or a more evolved version living in alignment with the universe's rhythm. This concept isn't about a clone or an alternate reality. It's about tuning into the part of you that already knows the answers. Ancient wisdom often speaks to this inner knowing. The Taoist concept of Wu Wei, or effortless action, teaches us that deep within, we know how to flow with life rather than struggle against it. Your parallel self understands this and embodies it, moving with grace and ease toward their purpose. But why should this matter to you now? Because the messages from this part of you, the guidance and the wisdom that's waiting, are often drowned out by the noise of doubt and distraction. It's all too easy to ignore that inner call when life is busy and full of demands. Yet these whispers carry the insights you need to break free of limitations, to start living with a sense of purpose that feels natural and true. Each time you ignore these subtle calls, you're choosing the path of least resistance, the one where comfort reigns over growth. But your parallel self is asking you not to avoid, not to shy away from the discomfort that comes with facing yourself fully. Your parallel self has evolved. Think of your parallel self as the version of you who has learned to trust deeply, to let go of fears that don't serve, and to lean into life's mystery. They've moved past the what-ifs that hold so many of us back. Their life unfolds with a sense of flow because they've released control, trusting that life's timing is perfect. And they want you to feel this same freedom, to know that you too are capable of living in a state of alignment. Sometimes this parallel version of you speaks in moments of clarity, when you feel a strong urge to change while knowing it's hard to explain. This is your inner self reaching out, asking you to listen, to take the path that feels unfamiliar yet irresistibly right. This self is reminding you that growth doesn't happen in the familiar. It happens when you step into the unknown, trusting that the guidance within will be there to meet you at each step. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks of the inner self as a guide, ever present and available to those who seek it. The message is clear. This wisdom isn't found through others, nor can it be granted by any external force. It is within, in the form of your parallel self, waiting for you to listen and align. This version of you wants to remind you that every choice and every action brings you closer to or further from your higher path. When we think about philosophers who might understand this idea of a parallel wiser self, Socrates comes to mind. Known for his simple yet powerful question, "Know thyself," Socrates believed that the greatest wisdom a person could have was understanding their own soul. He taught that wisdom wasn't about knowing all the answers or impressing others. It was about constantly questioning and understanding our own inner truth. In his dialogues, Socrates often pushed people to examine their beliefs, to look at why they thought the way they did. He wasn't interested in shallow answers. He wanted people to dig into their own inner truths. This process is a lot like the one our parallel self asks us to go through. By questioning what we truly want, what brings us real joy, and what beliefs we're holding on to, we start aligning more with our true path. Socrates believed that through this self-examination, a person could find their soul's calling, a purpose that was not dictated by society or external success, but by an inner knowing. Socrates' life teaches us that this connection with our parallel self or inner voice doesn't come from following the crowd. In fact, he was often misunderstood and even considered strange by many people of his time. He didn't chase the approval of others. He was focused on something deeper. He knew that the journey to wisdom, to understanding oneself, would often mean standing alone in his beliefs. This solitude, though difficult, was a necessary part of his path. And it's the same with us. Connecting with our parallel self, with that wiser version of who we are, often means we'll find ourselves alone with our thoughts, questioning things that others don't. Socrates didn't have the luxury of distractions either. He didn't have a world full of constant noise and endless stimulation. He had his thoughts, his questions, and his demon. He learned to tune into that quiet place within, where his inner voice could speak to him. Today, we're often surrounded by so much distraction that it can be difficult to hear our own inner voice. But that doesn't mean it isn't there. Our parallel self is still waiting, still reaching out with the same quiet but insistent guidance. In many ways, embracing this journey to connect with our parallel self like Socrates did can be freeing. It doesn't require us to be anyone but who we truly are. Our parallel self doesn't want us to be perfect or have it all figured out. It simply asks us to trust the process, to be open to change, and to be willing to explore the unknown. By doing this, we step closer to the path our soul wants to take, to the life that feels deeply and truly ours. And in this journey, we might find that the wisdom of the ages, the same truths that guided Socrates and countless others, is there within us, waiting to be heard. Connecting with this parallel self isn't about creating something entirely new. It's about listening to the quiet inner pull that's been guiding you all along. Think of those moments when you felt an unexplainable clarity, like when you've made a choice that just felt right. That feeling is often the voice of your parallel self breaking through, offering guidance that's grounded in a deeper wisdom you may not fully understand. The more you tap into this voice, the more you start to align your life with your true purpose, the one that's been whispering to you from beneath the surface. Messages from your parallel self. Messages from your parallel self might carry a calm, encouraging wisdom, reminding you of your strength and capability. Imagine it whispering, "Trust the timing of your journey. There's no need to rush, as every moment, even the uncertain ones, moves you forward." It would urge you to let go of control, to find peace in letting things unfold naturally, and to embrace the unknown. This version of you sees courage in stepping into the unfamiliar and growth in choosing progress over perfection. It would encourage you to listen more closely to your intuition, trusting that inner voice as a powerful guide, and to be patient with yourself as you become who you're meant to be. It would remind you of your strength, something you may overlook, and the importance of celebrating small wins along the way. When challenges arise, it would help you reconnect with why you started, urging you to continue, as you are never truly alone. You're connected to your dreams, to this deeper self, cheering you on toward reaching your fullest potential. Connecting with your parallel self requires a mindful retreat from distractions, creating a clear inner space for intuitive listening and self-discovery. This begins by intentionally setting aside time to unplug from the world around you, putting away devices, silencing notifications, and distancing yourself from the constant noise of everyday life. Without external interruptions, your mind can gradually settle, allowing you to shift from outward focus to inner stillness. Do this to listen to your parallel self. Meditation or breathwork can be powerful tools here, acting as a doorway to higher states of consciousness where your awareness opens to parts of yourself that you don't normally access. These practices help silence the mental chatter, creating a state of receptivity to the subtler energies within. You may begin to notice memories, dreams, or insights surfacing, messages that feel like they're coming from another version of you. Our parallel self often communicates through dreams, a realm where our conscious mind relaxes, allowing messages from deeper parts of our being to come through. In dreams, we encounter symbolic messages, vivid scenarios, and sometimes even alternate realities that seem to echo versions of our lives we haven't lived in this world. When we dream, our mind is free to explore what we might be like in another life, how we might have responded to different choices, or even envision scenes that feel unfamiliar yet strangely resonant. Carl Jung, one of the most influential figures in dream analysis, believed that dreams present symbols and archetypes from the collective unconscious, a shared layer of the psyche that transcends individual experience and taps into universal patterns. Jung suggested that these archetypes, like the shadow, the hero, or the anima, manifest in dreams as powerful symbols, guiding us toward deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the larger cosmos. According to Jung, when we encounter recurring symbols or familiar yet strange scenarios, it may reflect inner aspects of ourselves seeking integration or even represent unexpressed potential. This theory offers the idea that our dreams might reveal different paths we could take, or alternate selves we could embody, encouraging us to embrace new facets of our identity. Sigmund Freud, another pivotal figure in dream research, viewed dreams as a royal road to the unconscious, a window into desires and conflicts repressed in our waking life. Freud saw dreams as veiled expressions of our subconscious, where our mind freely reshapes thoughts and memories, giving them new form. In his view, dreams allow the mind to confront suppressed urges, unresolved tensions, and even unlived experiences, often encoded through symbolic or cryptic language. While Freud's theories focused primarily on repressed desires, his work opens up the idea that dreaming provides a safe space for exploring unrealized aspects of self. In essence, these dreams could contain versions of us that are unfulfilled or exist as what-if scenarios, reflections of alternative lives we could have lived. Modern dream researchers such as Robert Moss expand on these classical ideas by exploring the concept of multi-dimensional dreaming. Moss suggests that through our dreams, we sometimes tap into alternate realities or different lifelines where we might be leading other lives, making different choices, or fulfilling other roles. This echoes Jung's theory but adds a more mystical element, that our dreams can transport us into versions of reality where we explore parallel lives, often under vastly different circumstances. This idea helps bridge psychology with the mystical, where recurring faces, unfamiliar landscapes, and vivid yet surreal scenes could indeed be glimpses of a parallel self, one who might have insights relevant to our own journey. This dream communication can be subtle, often appearing as recurring symbols, faces, or places that don't quite match our everyday lives. These elements could be reflections from our parallel self, nudging us to explore what these encounters might reveal about our path, desires, or untapped potential. Journaling is another effective way to connect with this parallel self. Write without censorship or agenda, exploring questions about your life, your values, and even the choices you didn't make. This process can often reveal unexpected insights, as if the wisdom of another you were coming through on the page. Asking yourself open-ended questions like, "What would my life look like if I had chosen differently?" can provide powerful glimpses into who this other self might be. As you write, focus on exploring feelings and possibilities rather than factual details. Try imagining that a wiser, alternate self is guiding your responses, offering insights that you might not access in your daily life. Picture this self as someone who has taken those different paths, who has faced both the joys and challenges of those choices. Write out what this self might want you to know or how they might advise you in your current situation. You might also practice a dialogue journal by asking your parallel self questions and then writing their responses as if in conversation. For example, write, "What advice do you have for me about embracing change?" and let the response flow naturally as though you're speaking to an old friend. Over time, these journaling sessions can uncover layers of untapped potential, hidden desires, and intuitive guidance, wisdom that feels as if it comes from beyond your immediate experience. By regularly engaging in this open, reflective journaling, you strengthen the connection to the parts of yourself that might otherwise remain unseen, gaining valuable perspectives and clarity that can enhance your present life. By regularly tuning out distractions and undertaking these creative pursuits, you allow your awareness to shift from surface-level thoughts to a place of deeper understanding. In this space, you become more attuned to subtle messages, sensations, and inspirations that feel like they're coming from beyond your current self, connecting you to a larger, parallel version of you that's always been present, guiding and inspiring your path forward. Do shadow work to connect with your parallel version. To connect with your parallel self, engaging in shadow work is essential. Shadow work involves diving deep into the parts of yourself that are often hidden, unprocessed emotions, repressed desires, and unresolved aspects of your personality. By facing and integrating these shadow elements, you align more fully with your true self, making it easier to recognize and connect with the parallel versions of you that embody these hidden aspects. Begin by acknowledging emotions or traits you tend to avoid, such as jealousy, fear, or regret. Instead of pushing them away, allow yourself to explore them with curiosity and compassion. Ask yourself where these feelings stem from and what they might be telling you about choices left unexplored. Each feeling or thought can reveal a glimpse into a version of you that might have pursued different paths, made different choices, or embodied qualities you've neglected. As you dive deeper into shadow work, you begin to uncover patterns and qualities that reveal alternate, sometimes hidden, facets of yourself. These aspects often connect to unexpressed desires, unexplored paths, or suppressed talents. Hints of other selves living out lives you may have imagined but never fully pursued. For instance, if your shadow reveals a deep, unfulfilled longing for creative expression, a desire you've buried or set aside, you might be sensing the presence of a parallel self who fearlessly embraced that path, choosing a life dedicated to art, music, or writing. This parallel self embodies the creative freedom you perhaps never allowed yourself, serving as a mirror to show what your life might look like if that urge had been fully realized. As you work through these longings and begin to honor them in small ways, even if only through acknowledgement, you start building an inner bridge between your present self and this parallel version. By integrating these desires into your life, even if only through creative hobbies or personal expression, you allow a sense of this other self to flow into your reality. This bridge is more than symbolic. It's a process of psychological integration that enriches you with insights from this parallel version's perspective and strengths. You may feel their courage, artistry, or emotional depth come alive within you, as if tapping into a well of inspiration that has always been there, just hidden in your subconscious. Sometimes these explorations unlock fleeting memories, emotions, or physical sensations that feel borrowed from another experience. You might have a vivid flash of being on stage, even if you've never performed in this life, or feel the thrill of painting, though you've never picked up a brush. These sensations aren't simply products of imagination. They are reflections of your connection to another life path, glimpses into what might have been if you'd chosen differently. In connecting to these borrowed memories, you start to understand that your parallel self isn't some distant figure. It's a living part of your inner world, a guide you can access when you open yourself to their wisdom and experience. Over time, these connections can inspire a more integrated life, where you allow yourself to act on desires or passions that may once have felt out of reach. This integration doesn't require you to change everything or become someone else. Instead, it's about embracing those parts of you that were neglected, letting your parallel self enrich your current reality with a renewed sense of wholeness and purpose. Shadow work requires courage and honesty, but it also empowers you to release old limitations, creating space for growth. Each time you accept a part of your shadow, you bring yourself closer to wholeness, resonating more fully with the energies of all possible yous. Through this process, the wisdom and courage of your parallel selves become available, inspiring and guiding you in your present journey. Embracing your shadow not only deepens your connection with your parallel versions, but also transforms your relationship with yourself, creating a sense of unity across all the facets of your existence. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.